Okay, welcome to this mini tutorial lesson on multiplying a fraction times a fraction. All right, so let's take a look, fifth graders. Let's take a look at 2/3 times 1/2. Now, like I was saying in class yesterday, there is a super key word that you need to know that triggers multiplication, and that's the word of. Because when you're dealing with fractions, what you're doing is you're taking a part of a part of another part. Because remember, each of these is a part of a whole. You need three things to make a whole. So let me actually draw this once. If you had 2/3 here, remember what 2/3 looks like? You got two shaded out of three, but they're not all shaded. So that would be like a part. Right? You have a part here. Then you have 1/2 of that part. So it's a part of a part. That's pretty confusing. But today what we're going to do is we're going to draw models of these problems. Okay, so we're going to actually show what is happening here. Like usual, sometimes it's super confusing until this is so satisfying when I do that. Look at that. Wow. It's really confusing until you do a couple. So then one thing you might need, I suggest, is to have a couple of different colored somethings, maybe colored pencils, maybe even markers, because then it kind of makes it more fun, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2/3 of 1/2. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw 1/2, okay? So how would you do that? You make your whole, right? And then you always have one less line than the spaces you need. So if you want to make halves, if you want to make two things, you only have to have one line. So obviously that's a half. Then you shade it in, okay? So that represents 1/2. But now what we're going to do, which is a little weird, is we're going to take 2/3 of that half, okay? So we're going to go the other way, and we are going to draw lines the other way, and we're going to make two lines, two across. I switch colors, but that will give us three sections, right? So it'll give us 1, 2, like this, kind of like 1, 2, 3 going across, okay? Okay. So I just cut it into thirds, and now I have to shade 2 out of those 3. So out of the 3 I just made, I'm going to shade 1, 2 more, and then that is your answer. Whatever is double shaded is the answer to the problem, because I just took a part. I just had 1/2, just this side here. I had 1/2, right? And then I took 2/3 of that 1/2, and how much do I have now? Let's count it. 1, 2. I have 2. And remember, the denominator is always the total. So let's count the total sections now. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the answer is 2, 6. I know what you're saying out there. You're like, okay, thanks, Mr. Manfield. That was confusing. Let's try another one, all right? Let's do 1/3 of 3/4, or 1/3 times 3/4. So the first thing we're going to do is draw 3/4. Okay, so that shouldn't be bad. Let's draw a hole. I always like to do rectangles. Remember, we got to make 3 lines. 1, 2, 3, because that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 sections, right? And we want to shade 3 of them because we want 3 out of 4 shaded. So that shouldn't be too hard. So we go 1 shaded, 2 shaded. Do this with me. 3 shaded. So you have 3 shaded. 3 out of 4 shaded. So 3/4 is done. We just did it. Now I'm going to switch colors to green, and we're going to shade 1/3 of this. Okay, so going the other way. That's the key. You have to draw the other way. We're going to do 2 lines across because that makes thirds. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to shade one row. Okay, not just one box. You want to shade one of the 3 rows. So we're going to go like this. Okay? And what is double shaded? Remember, we're looking for what is double shaded. So how many are double shaded? This one's double shaded. Well, let me even switch colors again. I'll go to red. This one's double shaded, this one's double shaded, and this one is. That one isn't. That one's only single shaded. So we have 3 now out of how many? 1, 2, 3. Remember, the bottom's the total. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3 twelfths. So what is 1/3 times 3/4? 3 twelfths. Okay, let's try another one. I know it should be getting kind of a little clearer. A lot of you are still probably like, what's he doing? Okay, well, let's try another one. Let's do 1/4 of, which means times. Let's go 3/5. Okay, so first, what are we going to do? That's right, make 3/5. So let's do that. To make fifths, we need 4 lines down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Because that gives us 5 sections. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You always need one less line. Shade 3. 1, 2, and 3. So that's 3/5 right there. Okay, this represents 3/5. 3 out of 5. Okay, now we're going to shade 1/4 of that. Okay, so we need to make 3 lines across. 1, 2, 3 lines, because that gives us, look at this, first top row, second row, third row, fourth row, gives us fourths, right? And then how many rows are we going to shade? We're going to shade 1 row. Okay, so we're going to shade not 1 box, 1 row. So we shade 1 row. Okay, and remember, how much is, somebody say it out there, how much is double shaded? That's going to be our answer. So let me switch to green. Let's see how much is double shaded. 1, 2, 3. Looks like just 3, right? Because these are not double shaded. So you get 3 out of how much total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 3 twentieths. All right, time for you guys to try one, all right? So I'm going to pull one up. I will correct this with you guys. Make sure, Miss Griffith, you're trying to do this too, because I know you're learning how to do this, okay? So let's go 1/3 of, let's go 4/6, okay? So pause the video now and go ahead and try to do this one, you guys, just the best you can. Even if you can only shade 4/6, just do that, okay? And then go ahead and play the video. All right, you should be back, so let's see what you did. You start out with 1 hole, and we're going to do first 4/6, okay? So we have to make 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. You got to shade 4. So really quick, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then we're going to go the other way, right? And we're going to do thirds. So let's cut it into thirds. That's 2 lines this way. 1, 2, which makes thirds. And how many rows are you going to, the top is how many rows are you going to shade? You're going to shade 1 row. So let's shade 1 row. Okay, and how much did I shade? How much is double shaded? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 double shaded. Out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 4/18. All right, awesome. So now that you guys kind of got this idea, you're going to work on the workbook page and use your white paper that Miss Griffith hopefully handed out to you, because then, and maybe a couple colored pencils, and then you guys can try a few more of these. You're only going to have 2 for your homework, because you're going to be doing the B side, right? So if you can try to shade 2 for your homework and at least try tonight, then the other 4 are mixed review. All right, thanks for being great listeners.